All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how the Israelites are the chosen seed. The Israelites are the chosen seed of Abraham, all right? No one else. The Israelites are the chosen seed of Abraham. It's not the Ishmaelites. It's not the Edomites. It's not, let me find the names. In fact. This is Genesis chapter 25 and verse 2. In fact, Genesis chapter 25 and verse 1. Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Midan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. Now, the chosen seed of Abraham are not Zimran, it's not Jokshan, it's not Midan, it's not Midian, it's not Ishbak, and it's not Shua, right? The chosen seed of Abraham was Isaac, and then the chosen seed of Isaac was Jacob, right? And the chosen line and the people that came through Jacob that are going to be the chosen are going to be the elect to the nation of Israel. And that's why the scriptures say that there's not all of Israel that are of Israel, just like how it's not all that are of Abraham that are of Abraham, and just like how it's not all that are of Isaac that are of Isaac, man, because there's a specific group of people that come through each line that was going to be chosen, man. Yahweh decided to make the godly lineage, or the lineage of the people that he was going to choose, come through Abraham, and he began it there. And before that, prior to that, he began it with Seth, right? After Cain killed Abel, Seth was born. Then began man to call upon the name of Yahweh. This is Genesis chapter 15 and verse 13. And he said unto Abram, this was Abraham's name before his name was Abraham. This was his name before that. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. Right? So who is the people that was a stranger in a land that's not theirs? And shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Now, who was that talking about? Which people was it that went through that, man? Which nation of people was it that went through this? And let me get the scripture. I've got it on these notes, man. Let me get the scripture to prove it. Right? Which people should already know what this is talking about anyway. It's talking about the land of Egypt, when the Israelites went into captivity in Egypt, but I'll prove it. This is Acts chapter 7 and verse 26. And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strove. Wait, Salakia, that's not the scripture I was looking for. Acts chapter 7 and verse 6, I meant to say. Acts chapter 7 and verse 6. And God spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage and entreat them evil 400 years. Right? This is what happened to the Israelites. So the seed that came through Abraham, that was considered the seed, were the Israelites. It wasn't Ishmael, right? Ishmael had his own thing that he went through, which I'm going to read it. In fact, let me check the notes, man. Let me read it in Genesis 21. This is Genesis chapter 21 and verse 6. And Sarah said, Genesis chapter 21 and verse 6, and Sarah said, God made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. And she said, who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age, and the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking. So Ishmael was laughing that he saw an old woman breastfeeding, pretty much. He was like laughing at an old woman, like 90 plus years old. I think she was 90 years old. He was laughing at an old woman such as that had a child, man. He found it funny, right? And he laughed and mocked. Verse 10. Genesis chapter 21 and verse 10. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. And this thing was grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman. In all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So the people that are considered the seed of Abraham are not the Ishmaelites, right? But let's listen to what it goes on to say after that. And also of the son of the bondwoman I will make a nation, because he is thy seed, meaning I'm going to have mercy on him, though, and I'm not just going to cause him to die now. I'm not just going to cause for Ishmael to die right now so that you don't have a nation, though, so that they don't become a nation, right? I'm still going to turn them into a nation because they came from you. Yet they're not going to be the people that I'm going to consider as being your seed. And when you go to, which chapter is it, man? I'm not even going to read it though. But there's a particular chapter that goes into the lineages of the Ishmaelites, man, and speaks about particular seed lines and their genealogies of like their particular tribes or whatever. I'm just gonna try and quote it so that people can read it if they want to read it, man. Which chapter is it? It's Genesis 25, verse 12 to verse 16, right? Which I'll read a bit of it, in fact. Genesis chapter 25 and verse 12. Now these are the generation of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names, according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoth, and Kedar, and Adbeel, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Massa, and Hadar, and Tema, and Jetor, and Narphis, and Kedima. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are the names by their towns and by their castles, 12 princes according to their nation. So they are their own particular tribes, man. Right? They are their own particular tribes that came through that. But the reason why Yahweh even had mercy on them was because of Abraham, right? Yet they're not the seed. They're not considered the seed of Abraham, man. They're just part of his genealogy, passed down or whatever. But they're not the people that Yahweh was dealing with, because if they was, then they would have been the people that went into that captivity, right? They would have been the people that was in Egypt. They would have been the people that was given the laws, statutes, and commandments. They would have been the people that was given a covenant by where they was blessed or cursed. But let's read in the scriptures who was the people that was given that. This is Exodus chapter 24 and verse 4. And Moses wrote all the words of Yahweh, and rose up early in the morning and builded an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the blood of the covenant and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that Yahweh have said, we will do and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold the blood of the covenant which Yahweh have made with you concerning all these words. So it's not with Ishmael, clearly. But here's the thing. Nobody has a problem with it not being with Ishmael. There's not really that much argument apart from with Ishmaelites that have a problem that the covenant's not given to them. But everybody else in the world don't really have a problem with it not belonging to Ishmael, because they can't stand the Ishmaelites anyway. It only really becomes a problem when we speak about Esau not being able to have this, and then because people know who Esau is, man. But yet, if it was to say that the so-called white men are the Ishmaelites, then people would all of a sudden be wanting the Ishmaelites to receive salvation. It's only when it comes to Esau not being able to get this that people have got a problem, man, because the world's ran by him, right? But let me go to some more scriptures proving that the Ishmaelites are not the people that are of the covenant anyway, because they're enemies of the Israelites, man. This is Psalm chapter 83 and verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. So whichever the people are that are considered thy people wouldn't be mentioned as being the enemies, because they would be the people that would be the enemies, right? But let's see which people are considered the enemies of the people that are considered as God's people in the Bible. Verse 4, they have come and said, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Now, if it was the Edomites that are chosen, or if it was the Ishmaelites that are chosen, or the Moabites, or the Ammonites, or the Philistines, or the Hamites, or Japhet, right? Or any of these other nations, or the Midianites, any of these other people, Wouldn't it be written that they're trying to get rid of those names? But yeah, it's written that they're trying to get rid of the name of Israel though, because that's the chosen people. And who's helping to try and get rid of the name of Israel? Let's read it. Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. So the Ishmaelites are an enemy of the chosen. They are not the chosen themselves. And they're part of the plan to try. They've been part of the plan to try and get rid of the Israelites remembering who they are, man. They are not the chosen. Now let me get another scripture, because this lesson doesn't even need to be that long. I'm gonna get this. This is Psalm 105 and verse 6, further proving that the seed of Abraham are the Israelites. Psalm 105 and verse 6. O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen. So there's the proof right there that the chosen seed, right, the seed, the people that are considered the seed of Abraham are the Israelites. But when you go even further than that, the true seed of Abraham are the Israelites that are of the elect to the nation of Israel. And that's what it speaks about in the book of Galatians, where it says, and if you believe in Yahweh Shai, or if you believe in a Mashiach, then you are Abraham's seed, because you're coming in that same spirit of faith that will be counted as towards you as righteousness. But let me carry on this, because people say, nah, that ain't true, but this proves it. Psalm 105 and verse 6, O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen, he is Yahweh our power, his judgments are in all the earth. He hath remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. Now, what is that everlasting covenant? The everlasting covenant is the new covenant that is not going to be able to be broken, because the Israelites are going to do their part, for which is keeping the commandments, right? So therefore, Yahweh is going to continually do his part, which is to give them the blessings. But once Yahweh gives the Israelites the blessings, he's not going to do away with the curses, because those curses now are going to fall upon the Israelites' enemies. And the scripture to prove that is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7, along with Isaiah chapter 2 as well. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 2 to verse 4, because when the heathen nations sin, we're going to rebuke them. And that's going to be the curse that's going to be upon them. Also, Jeremiah 25 speaks about how they're going to drink the cup, along with a specific mention of it to the Edomites in Jeremiah 49 and like verse 12. Let me carry on this. Which covenant Psalm 105 and verse 9, which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant, saying, unto thee will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance, which is exactly what was spoken of in back in the book of Genesis, man, showing that his seed, Abraham's seed, was going to be given a particular land, man. This is, let me get it. 1 second, Salakia. Genesis chapter 15 and verse 13. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward they shall come out with great substance, and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and shall be buried in a good old place. Right? So that's the proof right there. But let me go to 1 second. 1 second, man. Is it verse 12? Chapter 12. Here we go. Trying to find that scripture where it says he's gonna give. I already proved it anyway, and I'm not gonna try and struggle to look for it. I already proved it anyway in Psalms 105 anyway, but I was trying to find it in the Torah to where it says it. But so lucky I couldn't find it, man. the specific part where he says, unto your seed I'm gonna give this land as well. I couldn't find where it said it. I already proved the point anyway, man. Here we go, I found it anyway. This is Genesis chapter 13 and verse 15. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. Right? So there's the proof, man, that it's written that the land of Canaan was going to be given to Abraham's seed. And who does that land belong to? The Israelites. When you read the Bible, who does that land always continually get promised to? The Israelites. When you read the prophecies, which nation of people is it going to be that's continually getting prophesied to return to their own land? It's Israel. Let me prove it. Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 7. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that they shall no more say, Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that they shall no more say, Yahweh liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries where I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. So the Israelites are the chosen seed of Abraham, and more specifically, the Israelites of the elect are the chosen seed of Abraham. And on that, I'm going to end the lesson. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.